What's up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you back for another video. If you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Also, if you want to join my Discord server, there's a link to that in the description of the video, where you can just talk to me, my community, and have a lot of fun. With all of that being said, let's get into the finale of What If Vegito Stayed Fused. In the last part we went over the Vegito Black arc, which was a bit short-lived and uneventful. However, today we are going to be covering the Tournament of Power and Moro arc. Vegito and Whis would be training, and then Whis would get a call on his staff. He would answer it, and it would be Zeno asking to speak to Vegito in person. Whis would be shocked, but then comply, and Whis tells Zeno that Vegito will be in his palace shortly. Whis would tell Vegito to bring the Supreme Kai, and Vegito would do so, disappearing and then reappearing with Kibito Kai. Kibito Kai would then Kai them all to Zeno's palace, and they would be greeted by the Grand Priest. The Grand Priest would take them into the palace, and they would see Zeno there, patiently waiting. Zeno would welcome Vegito, and Vegito would ask what's up. Zeno would say he has been really bored lately, and he would want to do that tournament between all of the universes now. Vegito gets excited and says that sounds great. Zeno also gets excited and says that all the universes that don't win will get erased. Vegito then anxiously says that they shouldn't get erased, but Zeno says he'll think about it. Vegito, Whis, and Kibito Kai would then Kai back to Beerus world, and Kibito Kai and Vegito look nervous. Vegito tells Whis to inform Beerus on what is going on, and he then tells Kibito Kai to take him back to Earth. On Earth, Gohan is training with Piccolo, Goten and Trunks, when Vegito and Kibito Kai appear. Vegito would tell them all about the tournament, and that if they lose, their universe will get erased, and they all look shocked. Vegito says that all of them will be on the team, but Vegito needs to get some more people. So, Vegito then teleports away, and he gathers the rest of the team. We now skip to the exhibition match with Vegito, Gohan and Piccolo, with all three of them beating their opponents with ease. Toppo would try and face Vegito, but Vegito is just so much more powerful than Toppo at this point, so it doesn't really go well. Vegito in base form seems to be pretty evenly matched with Toppo, but then he transforms into a Super Saiyan and begins to pummel him. The Grand Priest has to stop the fight because Toppo is just too injured to fight anymore. And then everyone goes back to their universes to prepare for the tournament. We now go to the Tournament of Power, and the team is the same as in canon, apart from Vegito would replace Vegeta, Trunks would replace Goku, Goten would replace Frieza, and future Trunks would replace Master Roshi. That's right, future Trunks is in the tournament. Since his universe didn't get erased in the last part, Vegito just went to the future timeline with Kibito Kai using a time ring, and got future Trunks to join them. They of course had to ask Zeno if it was okay, and Zeno said that having someone from the future sounds cool, so he allowed it. We'd go into the tournament, and Universe 9 would try to take on Vegito, but he would take them all out by himself, and not even needing to transform. Goten and Trunks would be facing Caulifla, and KO would get enraged seeing Caulifla losing, and would go berserk. Vegito would sense this, and instant transmission to Goten and Trunks, and when Vegito is about to fight KO, Jiren shows up and deals with the situation. Vegito and Jiren both then glare at each other, and Jiren returns to meditating. Gohan would begin to face Toppo, and he gets pushed into using Ultimate. Gohan has the advantage and begins to beat down Toppo. However, this leads to Toppo being pushed into using his God of Destruction mode, and Gohan is caught off guard at first, but he then begins to adjust his strategy and gets an advantage over Toppo once again. However, their fight is a lot more even now, and Gohan can't finish the fight as fast as he had hoped. Vegito now decides to face Jiren, and Jiren reluctantly complies. Vegito rushes at Jiren in his base form, and even though it doesn't do much, it still does better than Super Saiyan Blue Goku in canon. Vegito would then transform straight to Super Saiyan God, and then the fight would become more interesting. At the same time, Future Trunks would be facing Caulifla, and with them both in Super Saiyan 2. Future Trunks does begin with the advantage, but he realises that Caulifla is adapting to his fighting style and beginning to gain the upper hand. Trunks would then transform into Ultimate, and this makes Kale need to step in and help Caulifla in her controlled Berserk form. However, Trunks would still have the advantage, and when he is about to hit them out of the ring, they would fuse into Kefla. And Trunks would be evenly matched with Kefla in base form, but when she turns into a Super Saiyan, Trunks is having trouble trying to keep up. Toppo is shooting a barrage of balls of Hakai at Gohan, but Gohan dodges them all. Toppo then begins to charge up a giant ball of Hakai energy, and Gohan powers up a Kamehameha in response. Toppo would fire the ball of Hakai as Gohan fires his Kamehameha, and the two attacks clash. It seems pretty even at first, but Toppo's ball of Hakai begins to overpower Gohan's Kamehameha. Gohan begins to think of Videl and Pan as the ball of Hakai consumes more and more of his Kamehameha. Gohan can't lose. He needs to win for Pan, and he needs to win for Videl. Gohan's power begins to surge as he lets out a roar, and his Kamehameha grows in size and in power, and it goes straight through Toppo's ball of Hakai, and it hits Toppo, sending him flying out of the ring. Gohan then turns, and he sees Future Trunks and Android 17 trying to face Kefla. Goten and Trunks even fuse into Gotenks and transform into Super Saiyan 3 to help them. Gohan goes to help them out, and we cut back to Vegito and Jiren's battle. Vegito is in Super Saiyan Blue, and he is actually overpowering Jiren. Jiren tries to attack Vegito, but Vegito blocks most of the punches, and he then gut punches Jiren. Jiren begins to get angry at Vegito, and he is pushed into breaking his limits. Even Vegito's cocky demeanour can't remain after sensing Jiren's newfound power, but Vegito tries to face him anyway. Back to the fight against Kefla. Gotenks and Android 17 were knocked out of the ring, and all that's left is Gohan and Future Trunks. Gohan has got Kefla into a full Nelson, and he tells Trunks to fire at them, but Trunks can't do it. It will knock Gohan out as well. Gohan shouts for him to do it, and Trunks reluctantly finally shoots a Gallic gun at them both, knocking both Kefla and Gohan out of the ring. Vegito is getting beaten down by Jiren, and eventually gets sent back into his base form, laying on the ground defeated. Jiren is about to throw Vegito out of the ring, but then he gets hit in the back of the head by a ki blast from Trunks. Vegito watches as Trunks tries to take on Jiren, but then Jiren begins to mercilessly beat him down. Jiren then breaks Trunks' leg and lifts him up by his hair. Jiren then stares Trunks in his eyes as he shoots a ki blast at his chest, sending him flying out of the ring. Trunks gives Vegito the last bit of his energy as he falls out of the ring, and now it is just Vegito vs Jiren. Vegito stands up and he looks down at the ground. Jiren puts all of his power into his fist as he tries to punch Vegito, but Vegito catches the punch. Vegito then looks up and he lets out a roar, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. How dare Jiren hurt his son? He's going to pay for that. Vegito then punches Jiren in the face, and he gets sent flying into debris. Vegito and Jiren rush at each other, every one of their punches colliding. Vegito then punches Jiren in the face, but Jiren punches Vegito in the face at the same time. Vegito tries to kick Jiren, but Jiren blocks it. But Vegito wanted this all along, and then Vegito appears behind Jiren and lands a punch on his spine. Vegito then grabs Jiren by his legs and he swings him around. He then throws Jiren into a wall of debris and begins to power up a final Kamehameha. Jiren powers up a beam attack of his own and fires it at Vegito, but then Vegito rides Jiren's beam attack with the final Kamehameha in his hands, and he then fires the final Kamehameha at Jiren point blank, and it sends Jiren out of the ring. Vegito returns to his base form, completely exhausted, and he is crowned the victor of the tournament. The Grand Priest asks Vegito what he wants to wish for with the Super Dragon Balls, and he is about to wish to be defused, but then he sees Zeno looking at him intently, as if there is something he expects Vegito to wish for. Something he wants Vegito to wish for. Vegito then smirks, and to the shock of everyone, he wishes to bring back the other universes. The Broly movie never takes place because Frieza wasn't revived, and we would now move to the Moro arc. Vegito would confront Moro on Namek, and because of how powerful he is, he would turn into Super Saiyan Blue and beat Moro there and then, killing him off. Around a year later, all the Super Dragon Balls were finally gathered, and everyone arrives to see this wish happen. Beerus asks Vegito if he is sure he wants to defuse. He may lose all of the power he has gained as Vegito. Vegito smiles, and he tells Beerus that even if he does lose all of the forms and everything he gained as Vegito, Gohan will be able to handle any threat until Goku and Vegeta separately reach this power by themselves. Whis gets the go-ahead, and then wishes for Vegito to be defused, and everybody watches as Vegito splits apart into Goku and Vegeta. Chi-Chi and Goten rush to Goku, as Bulma and Trunks rush to Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta look at each other, and then they smirk. Being Vegito for so long has really gave Goku and Vegeta respect for each other. Goku and Vegeta decide that they need to spend a bit of time with their families. Maybe after a while they'll go and train on Beerus World, but for now, they just want to enjoy being back to normal and spending time with their families. We're going to end this series here, so if you ended up liking this series, then make sure you like the video, comment what series you want to see next, and please do subscribe. Trying to do non-Goku revolved what ifs has stunted the growth on my channel by quite a bit, so if you want to help me out, then please do subscribe. With all of that out of the way, I can't wait to see all of you guys in tomorrow's video. Goodbye guys.